You spend years building friendships at work. You laugh together in the break room, you complain about late meetings, and you text memes about that one manager who never responds to emails. And then, bam, you get promoted, and suddenly everything changes. The same people who used to invite you to lunch stop asking. The inside jokes, you're not included. You walk into a room and you feel the energy shift. You're not one of them anymore. You're their manager. Nobody tells you about this part when you get a new job. They congratulate you, throw you a card, maybe even some balloons and some cake. But nobody prepares you for the quiet distance that grows between you and the people you used to call friends. But here's what might surprise you. That wasn't really my story. I actually had an okay time transitioning from peer to manager. I had worked in both unionized and non-unionized environments. I was passed over for promotion 7 times, so I knew the stakes. So when I did finally step into leadership, I knew not to pretend things would be the same. In fact, I had conversations right away. I told my old peers, now my team, to paraphrase, I said, hey, I know this shift in our relationship probably is going to feel weird, but I want to be transparent. I respect all of you. I'm here to support the team, and that includes having different responsibilities now. Let's talk about this if anything feels off. Setting these expectations for me, setting them early, changed everything. We didn't pretend like we were still work buddies who could say whatever to each other, but we didn't become strangers either. That clarity created a new kind of respect and in some cases even a stronger connection. But I get it. Not everyone has that moment of clarity early. And I want to tell you about someone who didn't do the same. A former colleague of mine, we're going to call her Mel. She got promoted maybe around the same time as me. Different department, same situation. She'd been working with the same group of people for years and they loved her. So naturally, she wanted to keep things the way that they'd always been. She kept hanging out at, happy hours. She kept chiming in on the team's inside jokes, kept texting memes about other leaders, except now the problem, she's one of the leaders. So at first, this worked. Nothing felt different until it did. Because one day, Mel had to give some critical feedback. It didn't go well. Her team didn't take her seriously. One person actually said, wait, are you serious right now? I mean, you can see how things can spiral away. One teammate started going around her on decisions. Another accused her of favoritism just because of their old friendship. And the worst part, Mel started to doubt herself. She told me, it's like I have no authority. She said, it's like they think I'm still just their friend trying to play boss. You see, that's the trap. We don't want to lose the friendships we've built, but if we're not careful, we lose the credibility that we need in order to lead the team. So if you're in this moment, stepping into a leadership role and trying to keep relationships intact, here's what I've learned and what I saw Mel struggle with. You're not losing your old friends. You're stepping into a new identity. You're not one of the team anymore. At least not in the same way. You're one who sets the standards, gives the feedback, and has the hard conversations. And if you try to stay the same while taking on this new role, you're going to confuse everybody. You're going to confuse yourself. And I don't say this to scare you. I say it because I've seen it play out over and over again. I've coached dozens of leaders who thought they were doing something wrong just because things felt different. The truth is, things are different, and that's okay. It's great, actually. But here's the nuance no one talks about. You don't have to become cold. You don't have to become distant. You don't have to walk around saying, I'm your boss, in some weird power move kind of voice. You can still be yourself. You can still care. You can still connect. It's the mindset. And the mindset that helped me was this. I'm a leader first. But I'm still human always. To me, that means I still show up with empathy. I still ask people about their weekends. I still celebrate birthdays and wins. But when it's time for hard feedback, I don't shy away. When someone crosses the line, I don't let it slide to keep the peace. Because protecting old friendships at the cost of the team's performance, that's not leadership. That's avoidance. And that's where my friend Mel got stuck. But the good news, she figured it out. What she ended up doing was she sat her team down. She owned that she'd been unclear. She literally said, I wanted to keep everything the same because I care about you all. But I realized I didn't set clear expectations. I didn't step fully into this role, and that's on me. That moment right there, that moment rebuilt the trust. It didn't fix everything overnight, but it created the reset. Because here's the thing. Clarity earns respect, consistency earns trust, and courage earns loyalty. Now, if any of this is landing and you're nodding along going, yeah, that's where I'm at, listen, I put a little something together. It's called the Leadership Quick Wins Checklist, and it's exactly what I wish I had when I stepped into leadership. It walks you through some of the simple ways to build respect fast, to reset relationships, and to create credibility without being harsh, without being awkward. You can grab it in the description. It's free, and it's packed with the kind of real-world advice they don't cover in most management training. Because this is real life. This is real stuff. So here's my question to you. Have you been trying to work your friendships exactly the same as you did before you got promoted? If so, what does it cost you? Because if the answer is your confidence, your clarity, your credibility, it might be time for a reset. Leadership is hard, but it's also one of the most meaningful things you can ever do. And when you get it right, you don't just manage a team, you shape people's careers, you create safety, and you grow potential. And yeah, sometimes that means letting go of how things used to be. But what you gain, that's so much stronger. Okay, get your coffee. I'll see you in the next video.